The UFC 288 showdown between Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo left fight fans on the edge of their seats, proving to be a memorable contest. Leading up to the fight, the tension in the air could be cut with a butter knife. The Funkmaster was on a hot streak, defending his title twice since winning it in a controversial manner from Petr Yan. Cejudo, on the other hand, was coming out of retirement after a 3-year hiatus. With 16 wins and 3 losses under his belt, the former 2-division champion was looking to add another massive championship victory to his already impressive career. The contest was viewed as a real legacy fight for both fighters. For Sterling, it was about proving that he was a worthy champion and that his previous victories were no fluke. For Cejudo, it was about showing that he still had what it takes to compete at the highest level, despite his time away from the sport. The first round was an exciting and chaotic affair. Cejudo managed to assert his ground game by executing a successful takedown of Sterling. He maintained dominance on the mat until Sterling turned the tables in the closing moments, slipping out of Cejudo's clinch to take his back. While this late surge from Sterling may have swayed some, the majority of the round belonged to Cejudo, giving him a slight edge. The second round contrasted sharply with the first. The pace dropped as Sterling began to make use of his physical advantages. His superior size and reach became evident, keeping Cejudo at bay with an array of well-placed kicks. As Cejudo's movement seemed to lessen, Sterling secured the round in his favor. In the third round, Sterling's ground game came to the fore. He managed a takedown on Cejudo and maintained control on the mat. This was only the second time in Cejudo's entire career that he was successfully taken down. Cejudo faced multiple takedown attempts from Sterling, further emphasizing the shift in momentum. The fourth round remained competitive, but Sterling managed to pull ahead once again. A fourth successful takedown of Cejudo towards the end of the round cemented his growing dominance in the contest. Cejudo, however, was not ready to give up. He entered the fifth round with a renewed sense of urgency after his coaches told him between rounds that the bout was either tied at 2-2 or was 3-1 in Sterling's favor. Landing solid shots and executing successful takedowns, he gave Sterling a run for his money. But the question remained, was this last-ditch effort enough to secure him the victory? In the end, Cejudo wasn't able to do enough, and the judges' scorecards ruled in favor of Sterling, with a split decision win, 47-48, 48-47, 48-47. Interestingly, Ariel Helwani mentioned on the MMA Hour that there was a large difference in opinion as to who won between those who watched at home and those watching live in the arena. People in the arena seemed to favor Cejudo, while those watching at home leaned towards Sterling. This raises some interesting questions about how the live experience might influence our perception of who's winning in a fight. Despite there seemingly being an in-arena bias towards Cejudo's performance, unfortunately for him, it didn't translate to the judges' scorecards. In the wake of UFC 288, a poll was conducted to gauge the fans' views on the fight's outcome. The results were close, reflecting on how competitive the match really was, with 51% of fans agreeing with the judges' decisions and 49% ultimately disagreeing with the judges' scorecards. It was clear that the fight had left the fans divided. The split decision suggests that while many fans believe Sterling had done enough to retain his title, a large portion felt Cejudo was the true winner. This division among fans only adds to the growing debate surrounding the match. With such a narrow margin in the poll, it's clear that both fighters made strong cases for victory. Yet, the contentious nature of the decision continues to fuel discussions within the MMA community, with fans eagerly anticipating any future rematch between the two fighters. As you can imagine, this sparked quite the debate on social media, with some fighters believing Cejudo had done enough to win, while others agreed with the judge's decision. Conor McGregor was quick to share his thoughts on the fight, stating, 16 wins, 2 losses, guy is a novice in MMA. He also poked fun at Cejudo's strategies. Mastermind stuff, ha ha ha. And stating, easiest money I've ever made, referring to his bet for Sterling to take the W. But ultimately, McGregor praised Sterling's performance and agreed with the decision. 4-1, I had it also. Most other fighters disagreed with McGregor's assessment that the contest was a decisive one for the champ. Michael Chiesa sympathized with the difficulty the judges would have deciding who won the close contest, and Terrence McKinney acknowledged the close competition as well. That was a great fight and could have gone either way. Good win by the champ. Megan Anderson reflected on the tight nature of the fight as well. Incredibly close fight to score. I had Cejudo, but I definitely wouldn't want to be a judge for that one. You've got to respect Sterling as a competitor. Despite what other professional fighters think, at the end of the day, all that matters is the judges' scorecards. And those scorecards show that Aljamain Sterling has now successfully defended his bantamweight title 3 times. Sterling now shares the record for the most bantamweight title defenses with Dominic Cruz. And given that all of his defenses were consecutive, this achievement is all the more impressive. Sterling is now on an impressive 9-fight winning streak and hasn't tasted defeat since December 2017. His performance at UFC 288 further solidified his status as one of the top bantamweights in the world. On the other hand, Henry Cejudo, a former flyweight and bantamweight champion, came out of retirement for this fight, only to suffer his first loss since December 2016. Before UFC 288, Triple C was on a 5-fight winning streak, having secured victories over notable opponents like the aforementioned Dominic Cruz, TJ Dillashaw, and Mighty Mouse. So, what does this mean for Cejudo's future? Henry Cejudo's return to the octagon after 3 years of retirement was highly anticipated. His performance, though not enough to secure a win, was nothing short of impressive. Considering his lengthy hiatus, it's evident that Triple C still has what it takes to compete at the highest level. But the question remains, what's next for both fighters? Sterling's victory has likely earned him some well-deserved time off. But the bantamweight division is full of hungry contenders ready to challenge him for the title. One such contender is Merab Dvalishvili, who's been on a tear in the division and could be an exciting matchup for Sterling. As for Cejudo, his future is a bit more uncertain. On Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour, speculation was rife about Cejudo's future. Some guests suggested he continue in the bantamweight division, while others thought he should retire. Others suggested a move up to the featherweight division to face off against Alexander Volkanovski. This would give Cejudo a chance to be a champion in 3 different weight classes, a significant boost to his legacy, which, according to the King of Cringe, is all that matters to him. If Cejudo can capture the featherweight title, he will become the first fighter to hold titles in 3 different weight classes. On the flip side, there are concerns about Cejudo's ability to compete in the featherweight division, given the larger size of the fighters in that category. Would his wrestling and striking skills be as effective against taller opponents with greater reach? It's a valid question, and one that we'll have to wait and see answered if Cejudo decides to make the move. There's also the possibility that Cejudo may decide to retire once again. Satisfied with his storied career as an Olympic gold medalist and former 2-division UFC champion. While it would be a shame to see such a talented competitor leave the sport, we have to respect his decision and the incredible legacy he's already built. The fallout from UFC 288 has been almost as thrilling as the bout itself. The controversial decision in the Sterling-Cejudo bout continues to spark debate within the MMA community. Regardless of the divide, one thing's for sure. Both fighters showcased immense skill, tenacity, and gave us a night to remember why MMA is the greatest sport on the planet. As we look ahead, we eagerly anticipate the future for these 2 star fighters and the potential of a rematch.